Hi there! In today's video, everything is about summer fashion for your adults, and this haul is very affordable because everything together cost me less than 25 euros in total. Of course, prices on Aliexpress are not always the same, but I looked up these pieces and they are around the same price that I have paid around a month ago. And it seems that we even have two older original Barbie fashions included in the lot, and they definitely do have their own style, but I think they are kinda cute. But anyway, which one do you think is the most expensive set or dress or whatsoever? What do you think? Yeah, I would also guess the Chan Princess fashion pack because it does have the most pieces and even a straw hat. But it only cost me around 5 euros and 50 cents. The piece or the set that I mean cost at that time 5 euros and 90 cents, and it is the most expensive item in this haul. And yes, it is this tiny white dress with pink flowers, and I would also absolutely guess that this one here would be the most expensive item from the haul. Actually, it is a very pretty dress, and it is even more expensive at the moment. It is the only thing, I guess, that is really more expensive. It costs now 6 euros and 24 cents. I don't know. You will later on see how it looks, and maybe you like it, maybe not, but it is definitely a pretty dress. But when I laid out all the pieces, I was a bit surprised that it is way more expensive than nearly everything else. So let's start with the lowest priced items, and this here is a two-piece set and it cost 1 euro. Of course, the material is polyester, but actually I think it is quite a nice set. The fabric is stretchy, it does have this fleece inner part like the blue top that I got from Amazon, and it is actually pretty elastic. The stitches are quite even, the fabric is completely heat seared, so there's nothing that will fray out. Of course, the bottom of the skirt is not hemmed and also the strap on the top, but everything is cut neatly and I think this is a very cute dress. And since it is a two-piece set, you can even mix and match those pieces and I really like that. Here it is on a standard made-to-move Barbie. I think the fit is good. I do really like the cutout on the top part and also on the skirt. This is of course not high fashion, but it is a very nice summer look in my opinion. On the Mengf body, I think it is a bit too wide. I mean, the body definitely can wear the dress, but I think it looked better on a standard made to move. And since this fabric is really stretchy, it even looks also very nice on a curvy girl. Here you do have it on the curvy Barbie body. And actually, the seams are not pulling. Also, even for 1 euro, this dress or these two set items do have a very nice quality Velcro and therefore it even looks good from the side and from the back. I was really surprised by this set here. And since it does fit on the curvy Barbie body, it also fits on WorldBox. It would fit on each and every WorldBox body. This here is already the 8202, so the girl with the widest hips. The seams are still not really pulling, but on her beautiful back you can see that underneath the Velcro the sewing thread is already showing. I would still say that it is not so bad, but here the set is definitely on its limit. The top fits nicely on the B bust and it would also fit on the C bust, but that's it. It won't fit on bigger busts. The next dress also cost only 1 euro. I like the color and I think the fabric does have a huge summer vibe. I have no clue how you call this texture or fabric, but I did like it on pictures and actually it feels really nice. It is a soft material. The dress even does have some tulle underneath the outer layer so that the dress is not falling down easily. The top part does have a second layer. Everything is stitched neatly. I mean, of course, there is the bottom of the dress that also is only cut and not sewn, but everything is heat sealed and I think the cut is pretty much even. The bow is also only cut and it is glued on the dress, but they did a good job. It is very secure and as I said, I think it is very evenly cut. To me, it does not really look wonky and considering the price, I'm a little bit surprised by that. The only issue is, of course, this dress here does have this hangry velcro that I do not really love, but it is what it is and I especially appreciate the shape and the color of the dress. Here you have it on a stand-up made to move, and I think it looks adorable. I think this is more like an evening party dress or dinner dress. When you look at the back, you can see that the velcro with the dress is a little bit uneven. I mean, it is a low price piece, and I'm already surprised that it is that good, to be honest, so this is not a big issue. And I do really like the cut of the top part. Because of the large cutout for the Velcro, it is possible to fit this dress also on a curvy girl, but the waist will sit way higher and therefore I tucked in a part of the top, which still looks good in my opinion, so in case you would like to give this dress to a curvy girl, I think it still looks really good. On a Mengf body, it is definitely on the wide side since it is too wide under the bust and overall it is simply too loose in my opinion. On WorldBox, it is also a very nice dress and it needs the C bust to look really good. I had it on the B bust, so on the wider hip girl it would work, but it looks way better here on the 8201 with its original C bust, since now the top part does have a bigger chest to cling on, and I think it looks good. The next dress is also only €1. It is an interesting piece, I would say. It is very glittery. It is, of course, a white, slim fitted dress, but it does have these silver stitching elements, and also the top part does have silver elements with a lot of different other colors. Even though it is a white dress, it is also pretty loud. The stitching on this piece here is also pretty good. It is even. The material is soft, but it seems that the fabric and especially the sewing on the hangry velcro is a little bit on the weak side. So it is not possible to fit this piece on a bunch of different doll bodies. The stitching would not hold up that well, but it looks good here on the stand-up made to move. I mean, the dress will benefit from another row of stitching on the Velcro since it is only stitched once and therefore it stands off. I will definitely change that later on, but overall the aesthetic and the fit is quite nice. The lines are even and straight, and overall I think the dress looks better on a doll than just on its own. You can also see the dress on a Mitzi body, or better said, this one is a lower priced fake version, and I think it looks good. But here you can see that it looks a tiny bit bumpy on the side where the seam is, since this fabric is really thin and it is a bit bumpy because of the inner seam line, but overall it is minor and as I said, this is a very affordable dress, and I think this here is also a cute summer party dress. I mean, with this cut, the doll cannot really dance, but she surely looks good. Next up is a set that confused me a little bit. This set here cost me €1.35, so it is also a very affordable set. It does feel like this, I don't know, thin, smooth, fake cotton material, which does not have elastic. It definitely does not feel bad and too plasticky, but it is also not a floaty and soft material. The finishing of the top pieces, the top and the sleeves is okay. You do have a lot of the elastics and they are sewn in totally fine. A few of the elastic ends are a little bit too long, but of course it is easy to cut them off. But the skirt gives me some puzzlement. Why does it have this strange yellow ribbon? I have no clue. What is that for? I think you cannot use it as a belt. You also cannot use it to put the legs through so that the skirt cannot ride up. You also cannot tie the top together with the skirt to where it's more connected. You know what I mean? So, what is it for? I have absolutely no idea. At least it looks quite nice on the stand-up made to move. Here you can see that the yellow ribbon, the end part is sticking out a bit, but of course it is possible to tuck it in. So overall, the fitting on the stand-up made to move is nice. And as I said, you can cut off the too long elastic, but I'm still absolutely unsure what to do with this yellow ribbon. It is a very slim dress, so it also only fits the very slim girls, which means on the Mitzi body, it is also a very nice fit. I mean, it would also work on Mengf, but it is, in the end, the same fit since everything is pretty wide. It just does not fit on a curvy or curvier body. The thing is, because of the ribbon, the front part of the dress looks a bit uneven on the top of the skirt because it is not ironed neatly. I mean, I can do this afterwards. It's not a big thing, but on the Mitzi body, because it is a body with a very slim waist, it even looks like a feature and not like a piece that was not ironed correctly. I don't know. I think it is quite a nice set, but I simply have no clue what the yellow ribbon is for. If you have any clue, please let me know. To me, it is just a big question mark. Next up is the first, I think, authentic Barbie piece. This dress here only cost me €1.90. It does have quite a glitter problem, or I should say, I have a little glitter problem. But actually, the flying of glitter is not too bad. It's okay. And I really do like the pattern of the dress. The finishing is not perfect. A few things are a little bit wonky, but the overall aesthetic is just totally Barbie, and I do like this dress here. I think it also could use an ironing session, but today I don't have time for this, so it is okay as it is, and I appreciate the Velcro on this dress here. I think it does really fit nicely on a stand-up made to move. It will not fit on a curvy girl. And since it is purely Barbie with B and silhouette in its branding, I only tried it on Barbie. The next dress is, I guess, also an original Barbie dress. This here was a little bit more expensive with €2.06. I think it does have this very 2010-ish style of Barbie. I mean, the dress before also is, I guess, from this time. But I think this dress here does have the vibe even a bit more. I don't know. I think because of its shape and the bows, it looks a little bit outdated, I think. I thought on pictures it is a bit cuter, but actually later on in the final styling I also like it, so I'm not too mad about it. I think it is kind of a throwback moment, and I do like the Barbie logo and also the fact that this time the glitter is really glued down, so there's not a lot flying around. That is definitely a plus. And here you can see it on a Barbie stand-up made to move. And this dress here is less wonky sewn, so the straps are even. I mean, it is also a more easy cut or style, since the other dress did have different fabrics and also the skirt was really poofy, and this time this is just an form-fitting elastic dress. But it is in the same color scheme like the first dress. The next dress gives me more modern Barbie vibes. I don't think that this one here is an actual Barbie design, but it does have this, I don't know, Barbie-esque touch, and the quality is really nice. This is definitely a jersey material. It is stretchy and everything is sewn nicely. And I do like the colors. It does have this tie-dye pattern, but only in black. The basic color is a real nice white, and this lighter pink is a very nice contrast to that. The Velcro is also high quality. I do really like that. And it is a very thin piece of Velcro. Also a big plus. This dress here cost me €2.77. So this is also, I think, a good quality and price ratio. It is quite a loose fitting dress, and that's how it looks on Barbie's Stand Up Made to Move. I think it looks very good, and I'm pretty sure that they had a Barbie-sized fashion doll in mind when they made this outfit. Since it is loose fitting, it also fits on a curvy girl. Maybe these seams are pulling a tiny bit under the Velcro, but it is really only very minor. And I think that the neck piece looks better on the curvy girl. I don't know, they just cut off the top piece when they connected the fabric to the ribbon part. It does not look awful, and they used a good amount of fabric glue so it will not fray out, but it is just a little bit of a strange choice, I think. But overall, it looks good, so I'm fine with it. Of course, it also fits on Mengf. Actually, I think this is a dress that simply looks better on Barbie. Or simply on a shorter body and not one that have so long legs. But it is definitely a dress that also could be worn by a doll that does have a supermodel type body. But it also can be worn on a WorldBox body. The hips of the 8202 are too wide, but it looks very nice on the 8201. I think it is a very modern look, and I think it would also really look nice on a Barbie WorldBox combination. The next set is the only one that does have a pair of pants included, so it is a blouse and a white pair of pants. The pants do have an almost kinda linen feel to them. The overall stitching is good, but the fabric is not heat sealed. I mean, that's not such a biggie on this kind of fabric, but also the pants do not have a lot of stretch to them. But at least the stitching is very even. The blouse, however, is a bit problematic. I do like the shape, and the feel of the fabric is not bad. It feels a bit softer than the pants, but the fabric is not sealed at all. There's no fabric glue, no heat sealant, and the fabric is fraying a lot. Also, there are a few loose threads, so overall, this is actually the least nice piece so far, and it will be the only one in the whole lot that is a bit disappointing. I paid €3.63 for this outfit, and it is not bad, especially not the pants, but as I said, I'm a little bit disappointed by the blouse. Here it is on a standard made to move Barbie. I think the fitting is not bad. Here the pants are simply in a normal length, and the pants do fit perfectly around the waist. On the seller pictures, it is shown, I guess, on an integrity toy body, but I think it is absolutely done or made for Barbie. But the thing is that the blouse looks a bit odd because the standard Barbie made to move body does not have a lot of bust, and the ruffles are very flat, and it simply does not look that nice. I also cannot pull down the ruffles since the blouse is not made for that. It is not stretchy at all. So the fitting of the blouse on a Barbie body is simply not so nice. Here it is on a Mengf body. And on the Mengf body, everything looks a bit better, but the waist is a little bit wide. I mean, I can push them a little bit down, so overall it is okay. And the blouse fits nicer on this body since Mengf does have a way larger bust than standard Barbie. But this outfit would be way too large for a Mitzi body. The next set is the largest set because it is also an Genshin Princess set, and usually this line gives you everything you need, a full outfit and often a pair of shoes. And the shoes for this set here are very special. I think I have never seen that kind of shoe, and if I have seen it, I completely erased it from my memories. Anyway, also this straw hat is included in the set and it is a nice piece. It is a real straw hat, and I know that straw hats usually are not super cheap when you would like to buy them for your dolls. There is a golden thread worked into the straw material. I think that's a nice gimmick. I'm not a big fan of the lace that is tied around the hat. It simply does not fit to the aesthetic of the whole set, but it is glued on and you cannot remove it. But actually, when you put it on the doll, you do not look quite on top of it, so I guess it's okay. Now to the shoes. They are bright yellow. That is not a bad thing. They are quite chunky, and the heel is a unicorn horn, I think. I don't know. I don't think that I have seen this kind of abomination before. I think this shoe is so ugly. I cannot find words that do describe my feeling when I look at this shoe. I mean, there are things that are quite ugly, but so ugly that they are again quite cool. But this shoe here is just super ugly. Anyway, it is made out of a relatively hard material. And when it comes to Genshin Princess outfits, I simply do not count in the shoes. Sometimes they are okay and sometimes they are not so nice, but this shoe here is special. So, anyway, this bikini set comes with this nice wrapping cloth for around the hips. It does have the same pattern as the rest of the bikini. It is nicely sewn. It does have a nice feel to it. It is a smooth and still soft material. The fabric is heat sealed, so everything is nice here. The pants are also very nicely sewn. You can see that they did quite a good job with cutting out the shape. Also, nothing is fraying out. The sides of the bikini bottom are made out of elastic. The elastic is glued in, but they also did a very good job with that. And I think that the bright yellow color goes very well together with the pattern of the fabric. The top is also made with the same fabric plus the yellow elastic and yellow ribbons in the same color as the elastic. Everything is very neatly done, and this time the elastic is not just glued on the fabric, it is stitched, so everything is really secure, and the metal loops for the ribbon are also really nice, high quality. So usually when I do have a Genshin Princess fashion piece in my hands, I'm pretty much happy with it. So I was really surprised by the gray blazer jacket because usually they do a great job even when they just glue things. So I don't know. It is a cute bikini set, and here you can see it on a standard made to move. I think it does fit the made to move nicely, but the thing is, the panty is very tiny, and the standard made to move does have molded on panties. So when you turn the doll or move the bikini part, you will see this molded on part of the body. But actually, when you add the throw, you will not see the molded on panty anymore. So this is definitely an option also for the made to move. And of course, you can wear the piece of fabric on both sides. And I think it is quite a cute set also on a standard made to move Barbie. And just for funsies, I thought I could add the funny underwear dance on a Mitzi body. This bottom piece is way too large, but at least it gives this body a lot of hip movement, and that is usually not the case. Imagine you would play Shakira's Hips Don't Lie together with this panty dance, and I think it would be not such a bad thing. Anyway, here you have it on a Mengf body, and of course, on this body, everything fits quite nicely. The shoes were already a very snug fit on a stand-up made to move, and here it is really a struggle to squeeze in the foot into the shoes. But maybe some of you really like this shoes, so I wanted to show it, but it does not really fit on the Mengf body. Also, I do have to tighten up the ribbon a little bit, but overall, I do really like this bikini set. And in my opinion, it looks even better on a darker skin than on a light one. The straw hat. It is not a very tiny one, but I think it is okay for a larger Barbie head, or at least a head that does have a bit more hair. I simply wish they would have not used that ribbon on it, but yeah, maybe I can remove it when I put it into the freezer. I don't know. Maybe just remove it and add a piece of ribbon that looks less romantic, I guess. And now it's time for the most expensive piece of the haul, which is this impressive, extravagant dress. Oh well, okay. It is still on a not super expensive side. This dress here cost me still under €6 because now it is more than that, and I do not really know why. But I must say that it does have the nicest fabric of all the pieces that you have seen before. It is definitely a cotton feel. It is very silky still, and it does have simply a high quality feeling to it. It also does have quite a stretchy material, and the stitching is very nicely done. So even the lace on the bottom of this dress is more like a cotton material and not just more plasticky. So this is overall a very handmade looking piece. And you know what I think about the term handmade? I mean, fashion is more or less always handmade. There's not a lot machine only work included. Usually, especially when it comes to doll fashion, you need humans that do craft these pieces. The thing is just the kind of quantity or the manufacturing base that stands behind those pieces. When you buy them from China, of course, they are bulk made and not just made in a small quantity. And I think this piece here is one of those items that you could buy on Etsy or wherever, and you would think that this here is a piece that is made by a small business and not by a big Chinese manufacturer. But it is surely the case here, and the quality is really nice. It looks really awesome on a stand-up made to move, and I do appreciate the soft touch of the material. It is a bit wrinkled, so it could use an iron session, but I do enjoy the look and especially the neck part. I think it looks very nice and realistic. It also works fine on Mengf. It simply would work on each and every slimmer doll body. In the seller pictures, they pushed up the skirt a little bit so that you can have some folding, but that's totally up to you. I don't know if the dress needs that. It also looks very pretty on the WorldBox AT202. I think it really fits nicely on this wide hip body. It looks natural, and there's no chance that any color could stain the body. That is, of course, a big plus. This dress also fits on a curvy Barbie body, but it is very snug around the hip area. You can see the joints maybe a little bit too much. And now on the back around the booty, you can see that the stitching is a bit pulling at the seams. That was not the case with the WorldBox body, but it is with the curvy Barbie body. So, now you have it. That was the whole summer fashion haul, and I hope you have seen some pieces that you liked. Here you have them all together, all 10 outfits, nicely styled with a matching doll, and I think it is quite a bunch of clothing. I mean, as I said, I paid less than €25 for the whole lot, and I mean, the last two sets are nearly the half of the whole budget that went into the slot. And I have to say, there are a few pieces that are really nice, even though they are super affordable. And actually, this time there was not a real stinker between all these nice pieces. I mean, the flower blouse is definitely not under my favorite items of all time, but it is not too bad. And I think for the price I paid, I have a whole summer wardrobe for my dolls. So, guys, what do you think? Is there a piece that you truly hate, or is there something that you really like? I have to say, I liked the bikini set more than I thought I would, and I was surprised by the €1 pieces because I thought they would be more on the not so nice side, but actually they're quite good, especially the first ones that were simply nicely stitched even for a very low price. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you had some fun, and I know it is a long video, but hopefully entertaining and informative as well. Next week, it's finally time for the jewelry, and I have everything together for the waist shrinking experiment, so we will see how that goes. Well, I hope you will have a great new week, and I hope to see you again in the future. Bye!